So here we are. It is the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Since everyone knows what that is, I'm not going to describe it. Needless to say, it was pretty freaking bad. There are a few things I've noticed about today's, remembrance? Uh, it's been a damn near celebration. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with celebrating a horrible thing. For example, a wake. A wake is held when someone loved to you dies, and you spend quite a bit of time, 3 days in some cultures, 3 hours in others, mourning the loss of the person, and generally by celebrating their life. That's a good thing. It allows people closure. After all, funerals are for the living, not the dead. Um, but it seemed excessively wakish today. I listened to numerous accounts, both conservative, liberal, and just retrospectives. Um, of course, the conservatives were off the hook, describing how terrible the situation was and how much worse it's going to get because we have a horrible president who's soft on Islam, who's soft on Muslims. Not kidding. I'm not kidding in the least. They didn't like that Obama might be a Muslim and that he was going to be nice to Muslims. Because we all know there was no other reason for any terrorist attack other than Islam, right? That was stupid. I mean, it was just stupid, the crap that was being said. And then on the liberal side, I heard quite a few that were doing a decent job, I guess, but all too many of them held on to that old no true Scotsman fallacy. All of their guesses, well, these weren't real Muslims. The fuck do you mean they weren't real Muslims? They studied the Quran, quoted verses, surahs from the Quran, attended mosque, pardon the pun, religiously, and were schooled in madrasas and camps. Because there's a difference between a madrasa and a terrorist camp. I mean, a madrasa is only a school. But they were Muslim. Now I don't hold it against you that you don't want to include them in your circle. I really don't. When I was a Christian, I denied that the KKKers were Christian. But the simple fact is that the KKK is a Christian group. And so are these terrible people. They are Muslim. They are part of your group. I'm sorry. They're a fringe faction. I understand that. But you can't deny that they are. That's just stupid. Overall, I found today to hold a lot of celebratory feeling. The liberals were celebrating that it hasn't happened again, and that, oh, real Muslims are better than that. The conservatives were celebrating that we had 2 wars, and that we need to kill Muslims, and that, it's a good thing that only a few thousand people died to let us know what terrible thing this is happening. And I was struck by the amount of coverage. Now, yes, it was a big thing, and this is the 10th anniversary, and for some reason people love anniversaries. But another thing about the wake is that it requires actual mourners, whether they're called keeners, because they scream, they keen, and there are professional keeners. They They work a long time, and they develop the skill to last hours and days, keening in mourning, often for strangers. They do it for pay sometimes. It's just like you would hire somebody at your wedding to be a witness. It's no different. Well, it's a little different. Most people have family at the weddings, but um, that's the idea. And it seems like everybody today wanted to be a paid keener. They wanted to keen. They just wanted to screech out their outrage and mourning. It was a decade ago. If you're still feeling the outrage, you need to see a fucking therapist, man. Go to a psychiatrist. It's not healthy. Um, it seemed like too many people were working way too hard. And a lot of the guests that were on the different shows today all kind of bore that ill feeling in my heart of hiring a keener just because no one really has anything more to add. We've gone over this for 10 freaking years. It's not like Elvis's death, or according to the twit Michelle Bachmann, his birth, um, in which, sometimes you sit down and you listen to a record and you realize that he's gone, and you're like, holy shit, a huge influence in my life, a huge musical aura, a huge musical presence is gone, right? It wasn't that kind of remembrance. We've lived with this every day. We're influenced by this, by the Twin Towers falling, every single freaking day with laws against almost everything. We've got the fucking Patriot Act as a constant daily reminder, slap in our face about 9/11. So it's not like we really needed the introspective, the retrospective. Yeah, those are just a few of my thoughts on the matter. Um, actually, there's one more thing. A lot of people keep asking, and this is a question I heard 2 or 3 dozen times. You know, is this ever going to happen again? Yes, it's fucking going to happen again. It has happened since. It will keep fucking happening. The only way to stop it from occurring, the only way, is to stop making religion a political motive. Now, there are many nations where religion is just fucking not important. You'd be laughed off of the political stage if you made religion an important part of your political movement or your political agenda. And those nations have almost no violence, no terrorism. I mean, Norway, Oslo, they just had their first terrorist attack ever of any form. Um, so yeah, what we need to do to make sure that this never happens again is to stop allowing religion to be a driving factor in politics. If I'm going to hire you to run my town, I don't give a crap what church or any church, or if you do attend a church. I just don't care. I want to know what you can do for my town. Because that's the job I'm hiring you for. Now, if you go in front of the polls and you're trying to get the job of head theocrat, then that might matter. But being that we do not live in a theocracy in America, or Canada, or Britain, or Australia, or in fact, most of the Western world, leave your fucking religion in your church. Leave it at your bedside where you pray. Leave it with your wife, whom you pray with, or your husband, or your partner. I don't care. When you stop making religion a primary part of the political process, people will stop trying to address religious grievances through political terrorism. If we didn't have Bachman, if we didn't have Palin, if we didn't have that fucking wingnut Perry, if we didn't have Huckabee, we'd be in a far better place. The entire world is laughing at us. Because all of the Republican frontrunners are these hyper-religious, theocratic wannabes. They're worthless. And they will continue. They will, by their very existence, continue the fight against us. Make no mistake. They are the enemy. When you get rid of these people, when you make sure that they know that their religion needs to stay the fuck at home, then guess what? America will be safer. The constant avowal to their God, who's only really their God. Nearly no other Christian in America goes, what? Yeah, I believe fully with them. No one says that. These people are insane. I mean, yeah, you got a shitload of wingnuts that attended Perry's prayer event, but nowhere near the numbers he wanted. Nowhere near the numbers anybody guessed. Why? Because there were a huge number outside protesting that wingnut. You know, if you want things like the terrorist attacks to end, you have to stop making religion such an important aspect of the world. It isn't. One thing you ask any moderate of any form, of any religion, and they will tell you, my religion is my religion. It is personal. It is how I view it. If you ask the Bachmans and the Bin Ladens and the Perrys and the Saudis, they are the ones who keep the war going. They are the ones who keep religion important in a political aspect. Get rid of them. If somebody comes out on a campaign trail and starts talking about how godly they are, shut them down right then. Their religion should not impact your civic life. If it does, you got a problem. And you've got the kind of problem that led to 9/11, 2001. That's all there is to really say about it.